And we're live. Hey, my mom already in the chat. She already know what to do. 60 to let me know if you can hear me. Okay. Hi, mama. Let's see. I'll wait a few more seconds for a few more people to get in the room. Once you get in, go ahead and let me know where you're watching from if you feel comfortable doing that. And we're going to get started in a few minutes. In a few minutes, we're going to get started. You guys, I'm on time today. I'm getting better. I'm getting way, way better. I don't know what's happening with that. Okay. All right. We're going to just wait a few minutes. Okay. I want to welcome you to the first Friday night live for January. So happy New Year. I don't know if you can see my little Happy New Year's hat. I want to say welcome to the new year to everyone. Let's just wait like another minute or so. And then we're going to go ahead and get started. Uh-oh, I don't know what happened to my phone here. And we got a whole story to talk about the phone, y'all. If you can hear me, please put 60 in the chat. Thank you, Mama, for doing that. Thank you for putting 60 in the chat. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I think what I'm going to do is what I normally do is to share some channel milestones. Let's go ahead and share those out. And then we're going to get right into the show. I don't really have a real strong script today. I do want to just say, hey, welcome to the new year. It has been something else. 2025 has been something else for a lot of folks. So I'm really looking forward to 2026. I don't know about you. If you're looking forward to 2026, put 2026 in the chat pot. 2026 in the chat pot. If you're looking forward to 2026, put it in the chat pot. I know some of us just couldn't wait for 2025 to go by. It was something else, you know. I mean, you know, there was a lot of things that happened that were positive, you know what I mean? And then there were some things that were a bit challenging for, I know, for me personally and professionally. But you know, I am looking forward to this 2026, and that's for real, for real. So let's go ahead and get into the things that we did do for the channel. I want to go over some quick channel milestones. And for those who are new to the live, to the first Friday Night Live, I like to share the milestones because there are milestones. This is our community, not just my community. And so I like to share those so that I can, you know, we can talk about how far we've come as a community. So I want to do that really quickly. I don't know how to open this thing up. There's a way to open it up, but I'm not sure how to do it. Anyway, so let's talk about, let me look in the comments. Hello. So I want to say hi to Chineri. Hi, Chineri. Hi to Kamani. Hi, Kamani. And oh, thank you. She says, you look so cute, my friend. She called while I was getting ready. These were the earrings I was looking for, Kamani. I found them. I found the earrings. I was looking everywhere except my jewelry box because I generally don't put stuff where they're supposed to go. So let's talk about a review of 2025, and then we're going to talk about a preview of 2026, and then a few more things. So I had some goals for the channel for 2025, and some of them are what we call vanity goals. And for me, some of them were, you know, more of the analytic goals. They're all analytics, right? Which is measurements and things like that. But so one of my goals for the channel for 2025 was to, I wanted to increase my watch time. And for the year, I wanted to get 4,000 watch hours. I wanted to keep that. This year, because I had to pivot a little bit, we got to 2,600 watch hours. So about 1,400 hours short, which makes sense because usually I try to do about 2 videos a week, which is 52, which is 104 videos per year. And I did about 40 something videos. And we'll talk about the reasons for that later. Most of you who know me know the reasons for it. And then let's see, subscribers, as far as our community is concerned, goal was to build our community to at least 3,000. We have done that. We have surpassed that. So I want to thank you for my day ones, and I want to thank you to my new ones. Welcome to the community. And, we're going to just keep it rocking. Okay. For videos, my goal was to do 104 long form videos for 2025. Those are the videos that are not shorts. And so actually did, like I mentioned earlier, 43 long form videos for 2025. So we'll work on that. I have a strategy already in place to reach those goals for next year. Live streams. Normally, I like to do at least one live stream per month, and that live stream is usually the first Friday night live. So that gives me a total of 12 live streams for the year. But this year, we did 19 live streams for 2025. So we really did that. We really did that. So give ourselves a round of applause. And a lot of that had to do with the vision activities, creating the vision activities. For channel views, the goal was to have at least 100,000 views. We have surpassed that. We are right under, I believe, right under 180,000 views. So we did that thing. The last time I checked, it was when I wrote this up, it was 175,000 views, but I think it's now closer to 180. So we did that thing. Give ourselves a hand. I want to thank you so much for looking at the videos and sharing them. I want to talk about a few areas to work on for the channel. One is to be consistent in releasing content. This will help us to reach the goal of uploading at least 2 long form videos per week and reaching at least 4,000 hours watch time annually, okay? As well as, meeting the community expectations, because one of the things I said when I started the channel is that I was going to try to upload 2 videos per week. Some unexpected moves that I'm very proud of is re-released YouTube Shorts. Now, I initially did not want to do YouTube Shorts. I was a little afraid of YouTube Shorts because I thought you had to do it on the phone. Well, initially you had to do them on the phone, but then YouTube did some updates and we were able to release YouTube Shorts via our laptops. And so I got in that thing. I was encouraged by my YouTube accountability partner. Even though we haven't met in a while, she was still my YouTube accountability partner. And she's the first person that I noticed doing shorts. She's always doing something innovative. And that is Danny of Natural Ally D. And then the other person that encouraged me was Kamani. Kamani does lives. She does long form and she does short form. Mostly she does live, and her channel is Lifting As We Climb Consulting Services. So those 2 ladies have really, really been instrumental in and kind of just guiding me, right? And also the other one is, and I call Kumani Sister Harriet, and then we have a little Sister Harriet, and that is Marissa Price. And Marissa Heals, she does shorts. So one of the things that I like about doing YouTube, and since I've joined YouTube, is the community that we have. We have met in person. Initially, Kumani and I used to talk, and we had not met in person. We would communicate via text message, telephone, Zoom and those type of things. And we had never met in person, but we have since had a meetup she hosted. I think it was last year in Los Angeles, where I got to meet her and some other of my YouTube mentors. So I just wanted to say thank you. But one of the accomplishments that was unexpected is we got into that YouTube short field. And so, and we're killing it there. So we're doing a good job there. Let me look and see if there's any comments. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to drop those in the chat. And if you're watching the video replay, drop them in the, you can drop those comments into the comments. All right. All right. Looks like we're good with our comments. So I'm going to move on to other accomplishments. So other accomplishments that we had for the channel is creating your personal vision and mission activities. I am so extremely proud of that. That took a lot of work. So those accomplishments and those activities, they included, we did a 2-day personal vision and mission workshop, okay, free. We did a free 5-day personal vision and mission statement challenge. And then we followed that up with a 7-day, and it wasn't 7 days, but it was 7 days after we concluded the challenge. We did a reflections of, of what we had done. In addition to that, those activities, we also had 2 videos. One video was how to prepare for the vision and mission workshop, and another video was how to prepare for the 5-day challenge. In addition, we did 2 90-minute work with me Pomodoro sessions. And what we did is we worked together. So during the 5-day challenge, everybody picked one area, one goal area that they wanted to work on, whether it was health and wellness, whether it was financial stability, professional development. Some people might have, I know one person, I believe, selected retirement, and whatever the goal was for their life that they selected to work on. And so we all picked one to work on during the challenge. And then what we did is we wrote the personal vision for that particular goal. We wrote the personal mission statement. We wrote the motivation statement for that goal. We wrote some vision strategies for that goal. And it was very, 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 we did a lot of work. We really did. And I'm so proud. And so what I ended up doing is, we did a follow-up after the challenge. We did a 7-day follow-up just to check in, see how everybody was doing, because with the actual writing of our mission, vision, and motivation statements, we also have, some reflection periods. So there's a 7-day reflection period. I believe there is a 14-day reflection period, a 21-day reflection period, I believe, a 30-day reflection period. And those are just times where you write, what's going well? What do I need to change? How do I need to pivot from what I initially wrote for my vision statement? Because a vision statement, it's malleable, right? It needs to be able to pivot when changes occur, right? And so those are the things that we did. We also, I think we did a 30-day follow-up, but I'm not sure about that. But anyway, when we did the Pomodoro, the 2 Pomodoro sessions, the 90-day sessions, we selected a second goal area. And again, we worked on that. I didn't do instruction during those Pomodoros. I did some, but not a lot. And each person selected a second goal area to work on. So for me, during the challenge, the goal area I selected was health and wellness. And the goal area I worked on during the 2 90-minute work with me Pomodoro sessions was financial stability. Okay. So I am so excited that that we did that. Honey, that stuff is done. And the actual activities for the personal vision and mission statement. They are a part of the creating your personal vision checklist. And I'll go ahead and drop the link to that in the chat. Now, right now, I have left those up on the lives. They're under lives tab, but I also have them. Let me get this playlist for you guys. So we'll put the playlist there, and it'll be there for a limited time for free. Okay? Oh, I don't know what I did there. I didn't did something. But anyway, so we I'm leaving that up for free for a little bit. And the reason why I keep saying for free is because that'll be getting moved. Okay. It'll be getting moved to a new area. And so go ahead and take advantage of that and go into the playlist. I'll go ahead and let me put it in the chat pot now for you. I'll put it in there and just take advantage of it. And while it's there, I probably should have put the name, but so that's the, let me put the name in there so you'll know what that is. I'll do that now. But I'm proud of everybody who participated. You guys make sure you give yourselves a hand. We did that and it was a lot of work, you guys, but I really enjoyed it. So there's the playlist to that. Okay. Any questions, comments? All right. Well done. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So now let's get into some other things that I did that I'm really proud of in 2026. I have an Amazon catalog. And in that Amazon catalog, I currently have 4 items. I have the personal vision and mission statement workbook for Black women that's available on Amazon. And then I also have the Just Grateful. I have the Just Grateful gratitude journal that's also available on Amazon. Let's see if you can see that. And you can see it's really pretty. I didn't bring my mission statement book in my office with me. I also have a journal, which is absolutely gorgeous. This is a soft cover journal. It's called Beautiful Thoughts Journal. It's a beautiful writing journal for quiet thoughts. And it just has some line pages where you can just write down your thoughts. And I also have a hard copy version. It's not the same name, but it's thick. And there's a hard copy version. So we have 4 items on. I have 4 items on the Amazon KDP. So if you're interested in any of the books, in fact, let me give you a link to my Amazon authors page, which has all of the items. Let me do that now. That way, if you want to purchase any of those, you can. But I'm pretty proud of that as well. Let me put that there. They telling me that's too many. Oh, that's too much. Okay, well, you guys can go to my homepage and get that. And let's see. So my daughter Chaneri says, I enjoyed the challenge. And then Kumani says, your daughter made a mic drop comment during the challenge. You know, that kid is always making some mic drop comments. So I don't know which one you're talking about. If you want to share it, that would be great. Shaneri, how you open this thing up? I'm gonna just take the cap off. My mom gonna say something about that. But I think I didn't. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Oh wait, this might be it. Anyway, I'm gonna just keep taking it off. So that's what we did for 2025, and I'm so excited. We also did some playlist that people had requested. I did I did a poll asking folks what they wanted for me to talk about, and that poll did really, really well. People wanted me to talk about how to navigate toxic workplaces. So I did a I did a playlist. It has 7 videos in it right now, that talks about toxic workplaces and bosses, survival tools for Black women. So check that out. I will be resuming that. And then we also had, people wanted to get some tips on careers. So I also did a playlist that was called Career Advice Guides for Black Women. There's about 8 videos in that. And again, we'll be resuming those videos in the 2026 year. The other thing I wanted to talk about, I'm going to move forward and talk about the year in preview. So this is what is coming up for 2026, some of the goals. I'm not really going to focus on the size of the community per se, because I really want to make sure that our community is authentic. A lot of what we do is organic. I get organic traffic. I don't do a lot of marketing, and, I don't pay the YouTube to push my videos. I could, but I don't. My traffic is organic and I love it. So, as far as channel goals for 2026, I plan to upload at least 2 long form videos per week, or 104 long form videos for 2026. I have some strategies in place to do that. I plan to upload at least 5 short form videos most weeks. These are also called YouTube shorts. So I do plan to do those. As it relates to live streams, I plan to continue our first Friday night lives, which takes place every first Friday of the month. And I plan to conduct at least one topic specific live once every other month, beginning January 26th. So let's see how that goes. So that means we'll have one in January and March, May, July, September, November. And so I'm thinking about doing these on the third week of the month. We'll see. And we may even have them more often, depending on how comfortable I feel. Doing lives are a little bit different. Kamani, who's on the live, she is able to get on there and do these lives. She does a live every day almost. I do mostly pre-recorded. I'm more comfortable with that. The pros with the pre-recorded is that, one, I'm more comfortable, and two, I've been doing it, so I got that down. The cons of doing pre-recording is that there's editing involved. Now, I love to edit, but when you get behind, the editing can become cumbersome. I do have some great editing software that I use. So that's the con of pre-recorded. The pros of doing live streams like this is you get on there, you do your live stream, you really don't have to do any editing unless you want to do some post editing in the YouTube studio, which is what I'm using. I'm going to start trying to go to another software, StreamYard, but I don't really know how to use that yet. Kamani's going to show me how. But anyway, you don't have to do a lot of editing, with live streams. The con for me is I'm not as comfortable I can do live streams like this because it's first Friday Night Lives, but to just get on and do a live stream, and interview folks, I haven't got that comfort level yet, but I'll get it. I'm not worried about it. I'll get it. I also plan to continue the posts. I plan to continue those first Sunday scriptures. I don't know how you guys feel about those. I love them. I get a lot of feedback for them. It's just something to motivate folks, in their faith. I also plan to continue the Monday morning prayers, giving you your flowers every every Monday morning. Another thing I'm considering doing is I'm considering kind of doing like a post on Tuesdays. We'll see. Telling you about the upcoming videos. We'll see. And then I'll continue doing the special occasion posts. Okay. And I will also continue sharing content from other creators. Okay. So I will start doing that. And I'm looking, like I said, I'm looking forward to the new year. I like to share information about other content creators because many of them offer um, additional services. They also offer additional content that is related to or complements either the topics that I'm speaking of or complements or supports the channel pillars, which I will go over in a minute to remind folks what the channel pillars were. Having said that, I do want to let you know that Kamani and her co-creator are doing a financial summit. I think it's called. Kamani, go ahead and put that information in the chat pot. I just want to share that because I do want to make you guys aware of other information that's out there. I do support other Black content creators that are teaching similar or the same topics or anything that I think is helpful for the community. And I will continue to do that. Let me look and see if I have any comments. I am looking forward to doing that video with you about your famous quote about supervisors. Okay, so Kamani has asked me to be on her channel. I've been on her channel a bunch of times. Kamani, go ahead and drop the link to your channel into your uh, workshop you have coming up. But she's asked me to be on her channel. She wants me to talk about the quote that I use all the time when it relates to toxic bosses. When I say that there's usually three elements that are present, or three characteristics that I have noticed with toxic bosses. They tend to be incompetent, they tend to be insecure, and they tend to be immature. Usually they have one, at least one of them, or they have all of them. Okay. And so Kamani is putting the financial masterclass for Black women. That masterclass is going to be on January the 14th and January 15th. She's put the link to her channel in here. And I'm sure you can get to the masterclass from the link to her channel. Let's see. Next, let's talk about. Oh, I want to just say you all can help with the channel when you uh, are on YouTube and you see that there's a link that says hype this video, HYPE, hype this video. All you got to do is hit hype. And what that does is it will tell YouTube, hey, somebody is hyping this video, and YouTube will share it with more people. Okay. And I believe you can hype 3 videos per week. So let's say you want to hype mine, excuse me, and you want to help hype somebody else's and somebody else's, you can hype a total of 3 videos per week. So if you get an opportunity to hype the video, please hype the video. Speaking of hyping the video, another way you can help me is to hit the thumbs up button now while you're thinking about it. And if not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. That would be very, very helpful. So, again, I've already talked about we're going to continue the career advice guides for Black women series. We will complete the toxic workplaces and bosses survival tools for Black women series. We'll do all that in 2026. We will recommence the In These YouTube Comment Streets videos. I have some comments that I've been collecting. I just have not done the videos on those. And you all seem to like those videos a lot. I also plan to restart the Teaching Our Own History segments. I think I may try to start doing that in February. And then the other thing is I want to complete, which I have not done yet, I want to complete my South Africa my collection of thoughts video collection. And this is talking about my trip to South Africa this past year. I think there's 2 videos in, I think it's 2. There's 2 short videos in the playlist now, but I will continue to add to that. It's been a lot going on. So let me check the comments really quickly, and then I'm going to move on to a channel overview of my foundation, the history, and the pillars. And I just wanted to share that. Let's see. Kamani has shared the link to the financial class. Hey, Marissa Price. Marissa Price is on the line. Her channel is Marissa Price Heals. And I want to give a shout out. I just found out, Marissa, your birthday is a day before mine. So early happy birthday to you. If I do another live, I'll do another shout out. Okay, let's see. Let me move on. So I kind of want to explain some things about the channel. I do get I get people on the channel who the material is not curated for. Okay. I say it like that. And that's okay. I don't have a problem with it. It's only kind of a weird thing when people comment and the comment is not nice. So I don't always block. Sometimes I'm petty and I'll say something back. Um, and sometimes I just block or delete. Okay. I don't always delete because I feel like um, well, first, people don't realize when they write nasty comments in my when they write nasty comments on the videos, they don't realize that's actually up in the video because YouTube counts bad comments, good comments. YouTube don't care. They count it as engagement. Thumbs up, thumbs down. YouTube counts it as engagement. And what happens is people think, oh, by writing these nasty comments, it's going to stop the video from being seen. It does not. What it does is YouTube look at it and they say, oh, it's going down over there on this video. YouTube is trying to make money off my videos, off my lives, off Kamani's lives, off Marissa's lives, off Danny's lives and videos. And so if it is engagement, whether it's positive or negative, they push that video because they will put a commercial on there, they put ads on there, and they make money. So I do delete the comments that are, that are pretty out there. I will delete them because I do want to be mindful and intentional about protecting our safe space. But sometimes you guys take care of it. Most of the time, I don't have to say anything. I look and the community has checked whoever it is, told them to take 2-3 seats to the left and did what they needed to do. Other times, if it's really, really egregious, then YouTube will place that person in like a holding cell. And I don't even see the comment unless I go and find it. So why am I sharing this? I'm sharing it because I just want to go over why I started this channel. Okay. I started this channel. It was born April 20th, 2022. Okay. The channel is based on the following pillars: resilience. I left a toxic job after almost 30 years. And I use my experience to help Black women to heal after leaving an abusive and toxic workplace. And so does Kamani, and so does Marissa. Kamani is a licensed clinical psychologist. Marissa is a social worker. I call them the Harriets. Their channels have to do with supporting Black women who are leaving toxic workplaces or who are currently having to navigate working in toxic workplaces. The other pillar is new seasons. I give Black women ideas on how to transition from one season of their lives to the next. For example, gap year, new job, promotion, new employer, if they're going through divorce, empty nester, retirement, etc. Right? I've gone through all of those. And so I think I can talk about it. I think I could be a big sister, a big nay, and give some sound suggestions. And they're just suggestions. Intrapreneurship. I show Black women how to identify valuable transferable skill sets that they currently use as an employee to create outside streams of income as an entrepreneur. I have not gotten deeply into that pillar yet. I've mostly been heavily on the other two. But for example, what I'm doing now, I'm doing a lot of encouraging. I do training. I did that on my job. I trained and I encouraged, I mentored, and I coached managers and I trained them how to train, mentor, and coach their staff. Okay. So I just took some skills that I had been doing for years on my job, and I'm using them here on YouTube. Prior to coming to YouTube, I did workshops. I did in person workshops, which I may or may not resume, but the personal vision and mission statement, uh, 2 day workshop and 5 day challenge are based on workshops that I actually did in person and I charged for them. The fourth pillar of this channel is leadership. And I love this one. I help Black women in leadership, management, and supervision, and in life who want to become value led leaders. As Black women, as a Black woman on a regional senior management team, I found myself coaching and mentoring managers on how to find their authentic leadership style and voice. Black women in leadership seldom get access to mentors or training needs to progress without burning out. And the reason why I added that as a pillar is because leadership is very broad. Many of the women who watch my channel, they're entrepreneurs. Um, you need to have leadership skills if you're running your own business. And there is a whole segment called entrepreneurial leadership. Some of them work in nonprofits. Some of them provide social services. There's something called social entrepreneurship. So there's social leadership. Excuse me. So leadership falls in so many different places. Some people have ministries. You need to have leadership skills in ministries. So having said that, um, in 2022, we concentrated on resilience, right? So this included leaving harmful workplaces, healing after leaving toxic workplaces, with a focus on radical self care, and living a life of gratitude. So in 2022, when the channel started, that's what we focused on. If you look at the content from that time, it was really heavy on self care and living a life of gratitude, which we still talk about those topics now. In 2023, we continued with resilience. Again, resilience is one of the four pillars of the channel, and we focused on transitioning into a new season and discussed understanding the factors at play in the workplace because sometimes we don't always understand what's going on. And sometimes we do understand what's going on, but we don't have the word for it or the terminology or the verbiage, right? And so it's very helpful sometimes when you're looking at videos on this channel, when you're looking at videos on Dr. Kamani's channel, when you're looking at videos on Marissa's channel, to understand that thing that's happening. For example, gaslighting. Some people, they don't realize what gaslighting is and when it's happening to them. So having a word, having a term for that thing can help us to kind of move differently. Self-care, understanding, what that's about, helps us to move differently. Okay. So also under the new season, embarking on a new chapter, entering a new phase stage of life with an emphasis on encouraging the community. That's what we were doing. We've been doing that for some time. Also pivoting due to personal and professional changes. Okay, that all falls under the pillar of this channel. One is resilience, and the other one is new season. In 2024, we discussed new seasons more with a strong prioritization on, again, encouraging the community and personal growth. So when you look at the catalog of content that we have on the channel, that's where it falls. All the content will fall into one of those four categories. Okay. In 2025, again, we circled back to resilience, right? While also encouraging self leadership by way of personal development content that dealt with such topics as retiring the cape. Remember, we talked about putting that cape down. Okay. We talked about prioritizing rest. Okay. I talked about, and we just discussed creating a personal vision and mission statement. And then my mom, she wanted me to include, and we did, messages of encouragement for Black women. My mother personally called me and said, Colette, the people need to be encouraged. Okay, they need to be encouraged. And I think we have like 7 or 8 videos in that playlist. And those were brought to you from my mama, Wealthy Mac, honey. She's in the chat. So you guys can tell her thank you for that. Okay. We also did professional development, including career development, navigating toxic workplaces if you can't leave. Because I get a lot of questions. What do I do if I can't leave my job? It's toxic as hell. I'm dealing with a boss who is harassing me. I'm dealing with all of these things, but I can't leave. How do I survive it? So, working on some content for that. Also, again, Dr. Kamani has content, and so does Marissa. Okay, and Marissa, I don't know if it'll let you put the link to your channel in the video in there in the chat. If it won't, Kamani, maybe you can put the link to her thing. Let's see. I'm gonna look at the comments real quick. And okay, so Marissa says, thank you so much. Marissa also says, I love that you said that, Colette. They are abusive jobs. We experience the cycle of abuse in these jobs. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And then Dr. Kumani said, yes, we definitely need encouragement. Thank you, Wealthy Matt. Mama, she said, thank you. And then, yes, and then then Kumani is going to put Little Harriet, who is Marissa's, link to her channel in the chat. Okay. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. If you have anything you want to add, if you have a subject you want me to cover, please feel free to put that in the chat. If you're watching the live, put it in the comments if you're watching the replay. Okay. So next, I want to move on to some stuff. And I'm going to end the year in preview, 2026 in preview. We have a lot of surprises. We doing some stuff. So, we're kind of graduating. Okay, we're graduating. All right. I do want to talk about some stuff that I'm glad that we are dealing with as a community. And I'm just going to explain this. We're not spending time on it because I just want to move on to something. So, as a community, we have been dealing so much with a lot of the stuff that's going on, racialized trauma and things like that. One of the terms that's used is post-traumatic slave syndrome that was coined by Dr. Joy DeGruy. And Dr. Joy DeGruy theory is what it is. It's about how we adapt certain survival behaviors as African Americans throughout the U.S. and the diaspora. And she explains it as a condition that exists as a consequence of multi-generational oppression of Africans and their descendants, resulting from centuries of chattel slavery, a form of slavery which was predicated on the belief that African Americans were inherently and genetically inferior to whites. This was then followed by institutional racism, which continues to perpetuate injury, thus resulting in what she calls MAP, M-A-P. I'm going somewhere with this, and this is directly from her website. We're not going to stay on this. I just want to give this information before we move on. So she says this results in MAP, M-A-P, M for multi-generational trauma together with continued oppression, A, absence of opportunity to heal, and access to benefits available in the society, leading to the P, which is post-traumatic slave syndrome. And I'll put a link to her website. But what I want to get at is her tagline. Oh, I'm sorry. I want to mention, if you're interested in this, she has a book. It's called Post Traumatic Slave Syndrome: America's Legacy of Enduring uh, Injury and Healing. And I'll put the name of this book in the chat pot. But the reason why I want to bring it up is because I like what we're doing right now as a community. And this is the tagline on her website: let the healing begin. Let the healing begin. We have talked so much on my lives about the uh, Black women rest era. We've talked about that so much. And one of the reasons we talked about it is because we as a community have been carrying a lot. What I love about what we're doing now is we are actually getting our rest on. I ran across a video by a young man. I don't know his name. The channel is called, and I'll put a link to the channel in the description. It's called Chronicles of Black's YouTube channel. And he talked about something called the Great Checkout. And basically, what the Great Checkout has to do with is there we as a community have decided that we have put an embargo on explanation, and he called it an explanation embargo. We have stopped engaging and explaining why racism, injustice is not just wrong, it's immoral. We just don't even talk about it no more. We through talking. We through talking about it. And what we have done is we have declared that we are done being the social justice wet nurses for everyone, everywhere, every time. Instead, we are repurposing our collective energy towards community care. I saw my mom engaged in community care my whole life. My whole life. She's always been involved with the community, whether it was working at community centers, supporting community causes as it relates to just uplifting the community. We are repurposing our collective energy towards self care, healing from post traumatic slavery. We're resting, we're protecting our peace, we're prioritizing our mental health, which is something that Marissa, Little Harriet, and Dr. Kamani, Harriet, my sister Harriet, that they talk about on their channel. I call them Harriet, okay? Because Harriet Tubman led people out of bondage. And that's what we do. We refer to each other as the Harriet. So I'm Sister Harriet, Kamani is Sister Harriet, and Marissa, she Little Harriet. She's our baby sister, okay? So they talk about prioritizing mental health. We have delineated. Some people see it as divisive. We see it as setting boundaries. It allows us to not be so splintered in our focus. Instead of being out taking care of everybody else's situations, which are valuable, we are looking inward. We're looking at fixing our communities. We're looking at healing our communities, and addressing the specific concerns that have impacted negatively our communities, okay? Because our communities need care. Our communities need love, and they need our care, and they need our love. And we can't give that if we all over the place, okay? There is something, and we became more selective and strategic and assess the value of perceived allies. And I already mentioned the Black woman rest era. So we are being very intentional. Now, I had not heard of the term the Great Checkout until I saw his video, and I will put a link, like I said, to his video in the I'll put a link in the description. Saying all that to say, it's time for a change. Now, when I was growing up in the 60s, I was born in late 60s, but when I was growing up in the 70s, I should say, 60s, 70s, you know, There was a song, Change is Gonna Come. And sometimes change, we don't necessarily want it, but we know we need it, right? But we don't want it. Okay. So I'm going to go into our next segment and we're going to talk about change. Let me look and see what's happening in the comments. If anything I've said so far resonated with you, go ahead and share it in the comments. Okay. Marissa's waving. Okay. All right. Marissa's waving. Okay. So you guys, I want to talk about change, like I said earlier. And you know, this is not the kind that you plan for, right? And it's not the kind that you get excited about, but it's the kind that shows up and say, it's time, whether you're ready or not. So I'm gonna give you an example of my iPhone. I have an iPhone, okay? It's a 7. I think this is a 7 plus. I don't know what it is. It's a 7, right? I have this iPhone. And I've had it for a long time. Okay. I've had this iPhone since they came out. Okay. I believe they came out in 2016. And I love my phone. And what I love most of all, you guys, I love my physical button. See the button? I love my button. It's a physical button. Now, my carrier, they have been emailing me, they've been calling me, they've been texting me to let me know that they will give me a free phone. They've been doing this for years. I was about to block some of these people because I did not want to change because I love my physical button. It wasn't that I was afraid of technology. I just did not want to let go of what has worked for me, my button. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I'm getting ready to take my first cruise. Okay. I'll be 60 in a few weeks. And this is something I've always wanted to do for a long time. I want to shout out to the cousins and thank you for inviting me. Okay. And I want to shout out to my family members who are helping me go. This is something that I wanted to do for a long time. And when I tried to download the cruise ships app on my phone, okay, I couldn't because my phone, my 7 plus or 7, I don't know which one it is, it no longer supports my life that I'm stepping into. Okay. So I had to change. I had to make a change I didn't want to make. Okay. I didn't want to leave my phone behind because I did not want to leave my button. See, I'm going to show you again my button right here. And I know my mom going to be like, she's sick of hearing about the button. Okay. That's my button. I didn't want to leave my button. So I wanted to go over a few tips for things we can do when change is forced on you. Now, I feel like this change is forced on me because I can't do my banking. I can't do anything on this app anymore. On this phone using apps, I should say. Okay. When I realized that my phone wouldn't support the cruise app, my first reaction, I was frustrated. I didn't want to run out and buy a new phone. I didn't want to do it. So I paused. Okay. So I needed a moment to breathe, to let the irritation settle because I was pretty mad. Okay. Because I feel like cell phones should not go away. You should be able to run them into the ground. And I generally do run mine in the ground to the point they don't usually want mine in for a trade-in. This one they would have took. And to remind myself that reacting fast isn't the same as responding wisely. So number one, the first thing you can do, and this is not in any order when you're first to change, is to pause before you react. Okay. So if you're in a season where something feels forced, type pause in the comments. That way, let me know I ain't out here by myself. Okay. Now mine is the button. Yours might be something else. If you dealing with something that you got to change, type pause in the comments. Let me see if I have any comments. All right. So let's see. So the other thing we can do, and I think I'm still on. Am I still on? I hope my thing didn't freeze on me. Okay. Good. Thank you. Somebody said pause. Sometimes I don't know if I'm on or not. So number 2, allow yourself to grieve what you are losing. Okay? Allow yourself to grieve. I am going through a grieving process, okay, with my phone. Okay? That physical button, it matters to me. I think it's a control thing. Okay. This device has been with me for almost 10 years. My oldest daughter reminded me that when I bought it, she was just graduating from high school. Okay. She has since graduated from college twice with her bachelor's and her master's. Okay. In addition, my baby girl had just pretty much started high school and she has since earned her bachelor's degree and is working towards her master's degree. So my old girl, my phone has been with me for a minute. Okay, it's like a part of the family. Okay, and it's okay to admit something small still represents comfort, I think, and familiarity for me, and control. I think it's control. All right. And so grief doesn't mean you're dramatic. It just means you're honest. And I had to be honest. I am going through some stuff with my phone. Okay. Okay. So 3, lean on people who love you. My oldest daughter was the one who gently but firmly told me, Mommy, it's time. It's time. Now, I didn't want to hear it, but I trust my kids. Sometimes the people who love us, uh, they see what we're holding on to long after it stopped serving us. Even my cousin Nina was like, You still have that phone? I thought we talked about this years ago. And it's like, yeah, we did. We did. We did. Okay. So, talk to people who love you, lean on the people who love you. You might say that this is a lot over phone. It's a lot. It's a lot. 4, assess what has actually changed. So, um, I'm still dealing with the emotions, but I'm looking at the facts. Okay. My phone wasn't bad. Okay. Wasn't supported. It wasn't supported anymore. Okay. iPhone, Apple said they're not supporting it. Okay. It wasn't wrong. It was just outdated for where I'm trying to go next. And there is an important distinction. Sometimes the problem isn't us. The season has just shifted. So how we move and the tools that we use must also change. And that's hard. Now, I'm generally not a person who I used to didn't have a hard time with change, but it looked like with this phone and this button, I'm having a hard time, y'all. I'm having a hard time. Okay. Somebody else said pause. Sasha girl. Hey, Sasha girl. She said pause. Okay. 5, regain clarity. So before buying something, I sat with it. I prayed. I got quiet. I asked myself, what am I really resisting? And the answer wasn't the technology, you guys. It was letting go of my physical button. Okay, I bet y'all sick of seeing this. It was letting go of my physical button. I didn't want to let go of the button, you guys. That button, this button, I can push it, I can see it, I can feel it. Okay. So you want to create stillness to regain clarity because stillness helps you to hear the truth beneath the resistance. Okay. Six, and there's 10 of them, so we're almost done. Re anchor yourself to your purpose and values. My purpose didn't change. Okay. I ended up buying a new phone. Okay. I bought a new phone, y'all. My values did not change. I'm still me, but I'm gonna do what they call an unboxing. So here's the new phone. Okay, here's a new phone. Your girl went out and got a new phone. Okay, I got the iPhone iPhone 17 Pro Max. Okay, so I'm unboxing it with you guys, and so here is the new phone. My daughter's gonna connect everything for me. I got it upside down. That show you she gonna do everything for me. I got all the accessories here. Okay, it's pretty. I like the gold. I mean the orange, because orange is my new color. And you guys, you know what? As I was showing this to you, orange represents change. I just thought about that. Orange, if you look it up, it represents change. So I'm with you guys with the iPhone. I done moved up and I can't be talked about anymore. Okay. So now I'm finally allowing myself, I'm going to be living with a tool. I had to move to a tool to use to move through the world that I and experiences that I plan to live. Okay. Now, if you're navigating a forced change right now, type new season in the chat if you with me live, or in the comments if you're watching the replay. Type new season in the chat. Okay. 7, practice gratitude for what remains. I realized something else. My daughter and I were on the phone, and it wasn't even money for me. It was just, I didn't want to leave my phone. But speaking of money, my bill didn't go up. It actually went down. Okay. And I got to keep my old plan. They don't have this plan anymore. I have a plan that I'm grandfathered into, and they've been trying to get me off this plan because it's a good plan and they don't sell it anymore. And I guess what happens is if you on the plan, they can't kick you off, right? And they sure tried to get me off the plan while I was. They offered me an iPad. Uh, they offered me, let me see, an iPad and the little, is it Apple Watches? But I'd have had to give up my plan. No, I ain't giving up my plan. Nope, I have a great plan. Okay, like I said, they don't sell it anymore. And I'm actually grandfathered onto this plan. So there were blessings wrapped inside of this change once I slowed down enough to notice them, right? And I actually wrote in my gratitude journal, okay, which is available on Amazon, okay, my gratitude journal. I actually wrote thank you. Thank you that my bill went down. Okay. So gratitude does not erase discomfort, all right, but it does steady your spirit. You hear people say all the time, look on the bright side. Well, for me, the bright side is okay, my payment went down. So let me see what's happening in the chat pot before we continue. Somebody says cute. Oh, cute phone. I like the color. Yes, it's orange, and orange represented. There's a name for it. They have some name. It's something, something orange. And again, that color represents change. Sasha girl, I wonder if that's my little cousin, but I don't know. Hey, yes, my son didn't want to give up his phone for the same reason. LOL. Yeah, I know that's right. See, your son know what's up. That button is powerful. You feel like you can do some clicking. You know what I think the button may be? Back in the day, when we had phones, rotary phones or whatever, you could, you can tell how old somebody is when they say hang up the phone. Because I don't think the generation millennials and the Gen Zs, I don't think they say hang up the phone. I'm not sure. I don't think they say hang up. But my generation, we say hang up the phone because you can hang up the phone, right? That is a physical act that you can do. You can hang up the phone, right? Here, you can't hang up the phone. So maybe my button represents the hang up. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just making up stuff. I don't know. I don't know what it represents. Okay. So, 8, choose a hopeful, honest perspective. Buying a new phone opens new possibilities, new apps, new access, new experiences, and yes, new learning curves. But growth always comes with learning curves, right? Like getting used to the virtual button that's going to be on the home page versus my physical button, right? On my actual phone. I know I can do it. I did the same thing when this same daughter, my daughters convinced me to go from Android to iPhone. Sorry, Android users. They convinced me to go to it. Mommy, you can FaceTime us, because they were going off to college. You could FaceTime us. And I did it when my company, same company, forced me to go from analog. Yes, I had an analog phone to digital. And I would have kept my analog phone if they didn't force me. The analog phone used to get reception in the mountains. Digital phones, it's rare to see that. I was getting reception when nobody else could get reception with my analog phone. Now, one of my friends did tease me. It did weigh quite a bit, maybe 5 pounds, and they didn't want, when I tried to trade it in, they was like, oh, no, that's all right. You could keep it. And actually showed it to everybody else in the store to let them see my phone. So, yes, I hold on to my phones. Okay. Hope doesn't mean pretending, it means staying open. Okay. So, number 8, choose a hopeful, honest perspective. If you guys are hopeful for 2026, type hopeful in the chat pot and type hopeful in comments if you're watching the replay. Number 9, stay grounded in the present moment. I don't need to master everything about this new phone immediately. Okay. I don't need to, I don't even know. One of the good things I wanted to share about this phone is, and I got the Pro Max, the 17 Pro Max versus the 17, it's my, versus the 17. They have the 17, the 17 Pro, and the 17 Pro Max. I got the 17 Pro Max because of these cameras. They said that these cameras are good for content creators. So I'm going to learn how to do some content on my phone. Okay. So you guys might see me doing content on my phone in the future. So that's a good thing. And I could do vlog style content because this is called a sitting head content where I'm sitting somewhere talking to you. I can start doing, some content on my phone. I got to learn how to do that though first, but I'll learn. So I'm trying to look at the good thing. Peace lives in today, not in yesterday's loss or tomorrow's worries. So stay grounded in the present moment is 9. Peace lives in today, not in yesterday's loss or tomorrow's worries. Number 10, let me check the chat pot real quick and see if we have somebody type hopeful. Yes, be hopeful. Okay. So number 10, oh, my baby typed hopeful. Now, I knew she was going to type hopeful. She probably like, I'm hopeful that you'll get rid of that phone. I'm not getting rid of my phone. So number 10, keep an artifact if it helps you to transition. Here's the thing. I kept my iPhone Plus. That's why it's right here. I got them both. I didn't trade it in. I didn't throw it away. I'm keeping it as a reminder of where I've been and how far I've come. Sometimes holding on to artifacts, mementos, souvenirs helps you to honor the past while you are choosing the future. Okay. So what I'll say is I've unboxed this thing. You guys have got to see it. Sis, change doesn't always come because we're ready. Sometimes it comes because the next season is ready for you. Okay. Sometimes that's why that change comes. It comes because the next season, whether you're ready for it or not, the next season is ready for you. Okay. And so that was what was happening with me. Okay. As I stated earlier, I'll be 60 years old in a few weeks. And I wanted to share a message from my late grandmother that has been on my phone since my birthday in 2018. And that's the year that she passed away. So I'm going to play it for you guys so you can hear it. Let me get it all set up, and I hope you can hear this. Let me do it again. Happy birthday. Hold on. I must play it again. I had it low. To my oldest granddaughter. Happy birthday to you, oldest granddaughter. In the world, around the world, on this wonderful day. So, that is a voice memo or message or whatever you want to call it. It has been on my phone since January 28th, 2018. My daughter assured me that she can and will transfer the message. And, I just wanted to share it with you because, um, I have that message on this phone. I have it here. And when I was preparing to talk about this, I thought maybe that's part of the reason I didn't want to give up the phone. That, in addition to my button, because I have this message from grandmother. She passed away a few months after singing that to me. So I just want to say to you all, sometimes the change that is needed, sometimes there's some stuff under that change, and we don't know why we don't want to change. Sometimes we don't understand. Sometimes we think it's one thing. Sometimes it's something else. You know, if this video spoke to you, okay, please remember to like it. Let me know in comments or in the chat pod if you're live what change you're navigating right now. If you feel comfortable sharing, you can share it in comments if you're watching the replay. So there is the long story about change and my button. Kamani says, what a beautiful reminder of your grandmother's love. She said, I wish I had such a gift. And if you want, I can send this to you and you can share my grandmother. I've been sharing my mother and my grandmother and my folks all my life. But so here is the old. Okay. And here is the new, y'all. So that concludes our live. I want to welcome you into 2026. I'm praying that this is going to be your best year yet. I pray that God blesses you, that his glory shines down on you, and that we do this thing in 2026 because 2025 is over with. So happy New Year. Okay, I'll let y'all know how my cruise went. And, I'll see you the next time. Thank you for coming. Love you guys. Thank you for showing up, Mama. Thank you, Chineri, and I'm not sure who's all in there. Marissa, Kamani. Hey, Sasha girl. Hope to see you next time, sweetie. Um, Ike is probably on here somewhere. I don't know. Um, all the folks who showed up, all through the whole year who have supported, the channel. We're gonna just make it better. And again, if you have suggestions on content other than political stuff, I get into some political stuff, but not too much. Oh, that's my reminder to take my medicine. Um, I'll see you in the next video. All right. And don't forget about Kamani's financial class. She's left the let's see, she got the link here. So I will also, when she put her post up, I will also be sharing the post in they used to call them community posts, but it was her financial master class that her and Dr. Roche is I think she's a clinical social worker as well. I mean, excuse me, Lord, forgive me. Not a clinical social worker. She's a clinical psychologist. Not that there's anything wrong with clinical social workers. Both Dr. Kamani and Dr. Roche are both licensed clinical psychologists. Dr. Roche, who is the Kamani's co-partner in the masterclass, also specializes in financial stuff, the way we view and feel towards our finances. So she got her receipts. She know the stuff. The class is called the Financial Masterclass for Black women. It's going to be held on January 14th and 15th. I believe if you cannot attend the class, you can always purchase the replays. The link is here in the chat pod. Again, I will place when she comes out with the poster, I'll put that in my community chat pod. All right, guys, I'm gonna get off this phone. off this live. I'm hungry. Talk to you soon and have an amazing, amazing, amazing year. See you soon. Bye.